Good evening, welcome back here to one game tonight for the excellent Moscow Cup. We have got Power Rangers versus Aware in store for you. And of course, I'm not by myself. I am with G Advance, and the draft's already on the way, so I'm kind of slow. So welcome back to the broadcast. Are you muted? Are you there?
I'm
Oh,
here.
you're there.
Yeah, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, and hopefully my microphone and everything is working today. It wasn't my mic, it was my connection, I think. My connection suddenly, I basically had 80% packet loss, which is pretty useless.
Pretty bad.
Thanks UK ISPs. You're all so great.
Virgin
Really,
Media,
really great.
woo!
Virgin Media is the only good one. All the others are
It's the
terrible.
only one I know. So.
It's actually okay, but it's really expensive. Internet is really awful in the UK compared to Europe and stuff.
It's because you're on an island.
Yeah, it's pretty much it. It's not even that far though. There's 20 miles between us and France. That's not that far.
It's underwater.
Yeah, but there's a train there. There's a train that goes underwater. I'm sure they can put internet.
Not fast internet, that's for sure then. For Power Rangers, by the way, I have to say, I'm a bit surprised to see Ember make it into the last pick in this first picking phase. Aware wanted to have Shadow Demon and Dazzle over Ember Spirit. It's not something that you see every day. I'm quite curious to see what they have in mind with it, though it's a nice combination. But it should be a nice game, this one. Yeah,
it should be an interesting game, and I gotta say, this whole Shadow Demon Renaissance thing, it's I don't understand it. It's this hero, I'm pronouncing it right, you're crazy, but this hero went from literally untouched, you would not see it in any draft whatsoever. Maybe occasionally you'd see it banned or picked in a Marana draft, you'd see it banned against it, and you'd see it picked occasionally for a Marana, but otherwise completely untouched. Here, people just did not rate the hero, and now it's a first pick support that you don't even pick up with any combo. They have no combo with this right now. Obviously, there's a lot of heroes that it's not that great though, because the damage from Dazzle is not that huge.
If you have a Soul Catcher there as well, and your Shadow Weave is level 2, then that's pretty damn scary. Unless you're a Centaur, or unless you have a shield up.
Yeah, so far both these heroes not too bothered about this damage. It could do a lot to Ember though, because actually that damage is all physical, and Ember Spirit, Flame Guard only useful versus magical damage. Plus he's got terrible armor, so yeah, this could be a good thing versus Ember. But if he's already got a Remnant out, it won't matter at all. They need a hard lockdown spell to actually kill him. But yeah, it's like the hero has just sort of come out of nowhere to a first pick, first ban sort of stage, and PR previously with the team that was constantly banning it. They ignore it now, they give it away, but they get Ember Spirit, which is a very powerful hero, especially in the right hands.
Yeah, and for PR actually, this match is quite important. They have only played 5 games so far of the 10 they have to play. They've won 3, lost 2. Now, it's not ideal, but if they don't lose a single game anymore from this point onward, they will be going to Moscow to the LAN final, so they definitely want to win this one. Aware is not going to go to Moscow. They have played 7 games, won 2 out of those 7, so they're not doing all too hot, but still have a lot to prove here, as they are, of course, sponsored, and they are quite recently sponsored, a couple of months anyway, and you want to make sure that your team name gets to be out there so that you don't lose sponsorships like other teams out there that have recently lost
definitely
sponsorships.
And the thing is with Aware as well is that they're very good at the early sort of mid-game stage and then just struggle sometimes to actually end the game, and then maybe just a bit uncoordinated. Maybe that's just, if you look at this team, they've not been together for that long and they're not that experienced at playing at this sort of level. So I think that's probably the issue for them. Definitely, if they get the time to, and they knuckle down, they'll improve to be able to do very well in these tournaments, because the score doesn't really belie how well they've actually been doing, I don't feel.
Okay, hello Diego.
Diego agrees with me.
Yes, I think so. I like the Luna pickup as combinations. We've seen this trial lane before. We've seen it as an aggressive trial lane. Would like to see it again with Axe picked up. That's definitely a possibility. They could even go for an aggressive trial lane and leave Luna somewhere else and use Axe on the aggressive trial lane. But
I think that's more probable now, given the Enchantress was just picked up. Diego does not want to shut it. He's like, no guys, Your commentary is terrible. I've got better things to say.
He's just sitting
That's
in
what
front
he's
of me
saying.
and just meowing. That's all he does.
Apparently.
But I have to say, I like the Axe. It does mean that they have to get active early on, because Axe is one of those heroes, and I think we say that every time, like, if he gets behind, he's going to be a really difficult hero to work with, because he can't really initiate anymore, because he might be getting blown up instantly. So he needs to get ahead early on, or get enough farm early on to keep up / get ahead of the Centaur, because that's going to be his counterpart in this game, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. They're both similar in roles. Both of them you don't particularly want to attack if you're that weak. Axe, it's more of a, if you're right next to him and you're a bit weak, you don't want to attack him because he's going to turn around and helix you. Centaur does the return. Both of them are very strong initiators, both relatively tanky. Axe, not so much as Centaur. And the thing is arguably Centaur's just that little bit more reliable because you're not having to jump on people and call them to try and fight you. You're not forcing the enemy team to actually, do some damage. Whereas Centaur, he just jumps on you and he just stuns people. So, arguably a little more reliable. The thing is, though, its Axe is way, way better in a team fight where you're starting to win. If you're pulling ahead, Axe can cull the entire enemy team now because of the way that Culling Blade works. If you get a successful Culling Blade off, there's no cooldown, and he'll just chop, chop, chop away. So, that's the big thing for Aware. They need to open their fights well, because then their Axe pick is going to be really useful. And every time you get that Culling Blade as well, you get that bonus movement speed. They've already got a good hero for running people down in the Luna. So if they win any part of the fight, Power Rangers could find themselves completely routed, which is a bad situation to be in, because it's like, oh, we lost one person, now we're going to lose an entire team fight. And with a Luna as well, they're going to push your towers down as well. So I like this combo for them for the moment. The issue for me is that maybe they're a little bit low on damage right now.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I find...
Tinker.
You know what?
All right.
Power Rangers is the one that is... If you look at the odds, if you look at the recent results, you think Power Rangers is going to win this. And
Yeah,
until
they're
the Tinker
definitely
was
the
picked
favorites.
up, I was thinking, where's lineup? Insanely strong. They have
Yeah,
got
definitely,
so much going for them. But Tinker?
Tinker is, more than anything, he's a late game split push, counter push hero. He's not even that great at hardcore pushing, which is what the Luna is for. So it feels like they want to take this late now, and arguably taking the game late versus an Ember Spirit is incredibly dangerous, because we've seen it a few times. If the Ember Spirit just goes the Battle Fury build, where you get a couple Battle Furies, you get crit and things like that, he can defend high ground for pretty much forever, because you will kill the entire creep wave. Any supports that get caught in that will lose most of their HP. I don't know if the Tinker's the right pickup in this situation. I feel like they needed somebody who could work with the Luna a bit more in the mid game, and something even like a Queen of Pain or something that you can just get a BKB on and just go fight.
Whoa. This is a farming Venomancer, offlane Venomancer. Here we go.
Yeah, it is. It's an interesting choice for the side of Power Rangers here. I
like
want to
it,
know
though.
what their lanes are now, though.
Well, Power Rangers, it seems to be pretty straightforward. Having Venomancer on the offlane, hoping that I think for them they're hoping to have that one up against a solo hero, solo Axe perhaps, depending on what kind of tri-lane they're expecting. And just a safe lane with the Bane and the Centaur, making sure that Centaur can get some farm with Ember Spirit mid. Unless they want to put Cheshire Cat mid, Ember on the safe lane, and yeah, they have quite a few options. But actually, with Scandal picking up the Centaur,
I'd expect it to go into the mid lane if it's Scandal playing it, because he doesn't really like to move from his lane at the moment. I've got to say, as well, important moment for PR, they finally have tags on Scandal. He's officially a member of PR. It actually happened after months of waiting. Like, we knew he was in.
Yes.
I knew for a fact he was definitely a part of PR, but he was still not contracted with them. So it's nice to see that he's finally got the tags on.
Yeah, I'm a bit happy for him as well. It's just a bit surprised all of a sudden. Do you think there should be an announcement?
I feel like there should be an announcement, yeah, but apparently not.
Maybe they do it for TI. You never know.
Yeah, it might honestly be something like that.
They were forced to have a 5-man roster.
It seems like
Hey, they swap
I can't say
around. Do you see
What's
that?
the?
Cheshire Cat
Are they swapping heroes?
is no longer
okay.
playing the Venomancer.
Maybe they'll try and put the Ember Spirit up versus... Alright, no, they're just swapping around. They really... Either they're redeciding their lanes, or they're just trying to mess with the Side of Aware right now. Either way, it's kind of interesting, because if they're messing with their lanes, it means they're not quite confident in their ability to actually run a defensive tri-lane, which is unusual considering they have an Enchantress, which is one of the best heroes for shutting down enemy offensive tri-lanes, which it looks like Aware are going to do. So... yeah, I mean, that's interesting, because they might just not be confident that they can actually get any farm there. And they might put... I mean, if it's the Venomancer in the defensive tri-lane, and the enemy team does go aggressive, Aware will be screwed, because Venomancer, Bane, Enchantress...
One Gale, and
you don't want to
everything
go
can
up
turn
versus
around.
that.
Like,
Yeah, you just get crushed in that lane. That's such a good lane.
yeah. I kind of like the Venomancer as a core role. Have to see how it works out after the laning stage, though, because you kind of have to win your laning stage at this point.
He's great in the lane, but
Yeah.
then afterwards you're like, great, I'm still just
Exactly.
exactly the same hero as I was before, and yeah, you don't scale particularly well as a core Venomancer. The number of, you know, I mean, you can't get items to make
Ooh.
you actually do damage, no matter how hard you try.
With all my haste, I forgot to turn on my microphone in game. So hello, people in Dota TV.
Wow. Literally making the mistake I do.
Well, why didn't you tell me?
Yeah, I don't have a reason for that. But anyway, it looks like PR are actually going to run... It looks like some sort of aggressive tri-lane here, unless the Bane is just... Maybe they're dodging.
I think they're dodging.
This is interesting.
It looks like they're dodging.
And then Moon's going to be left here to defend the tower on his own. I mean, Venomancer's great for turtling a tower, especially as a core hero, but... Do you think you can turtle a tower versus a whole tri-lane? I'm not so sure about that. Normally when you pick up a core Venomancer, you want somebody with him as well, because he doesn't do much on his own.
No, and I think Venomancer just got it out Aware. Yeah, they did. Let's take a look at who is playing what in the end, because Moon will be playing the Venomancer. So Power Rangers are on the dire side for this match. Instantly already a defensive ward coming out for Moon. It looks like he'll be by himself for the moment. Scandal. Mid lane for him, playing the Ember Spirit. Bottom lane is going to be for Cheshire Cat as usual, but this time he'll have some company. Cheshire Cat will be on the Centaur War Runner. And it looks like J4 on the Bane and FNG on the Enchantress will be dual jungling on the enemy jungle, which they should be able to do just fine because it's just Axe that they would be up
Yeah, and
against.
Axe is not good at contesting multiple heroes at once. He just gets kited around. He's a little bit too slow to do anything versus these two. But I think actually J4... No, I was going to say I think J4 might just go and camp the middle just to make this lane a little bit easier for the Ember Spirit, but he's already picked up Nightmare level 1, which you can't use for that.
Yeah, I now see the messages in the chat about my microphone being off. Oh well. Sorry.
Anyway.
Did you introduce it? Aware?
I did not. Do you want me to go through Aware? On the safe lane here, it is solo safe lane. It's going to be Hakon. He is on the Axe here. He's already got himself up some spins on J4 there. In the middle lane, it's going to be Lolik going 1v1 versus Scandal. He's on the Tinker. Could be in a bad situation. He's actually running up to Scandal's high ground, though. Okay. I thought that was going to be way worse if the Enchantress rotated right then. But aggressive tri-lane for them.
I thought for a second that Lolik was not sure if he was Radiant or Dire. And they just walked towards the wrong tower. That would be the most
What a
hilarious
mistake
thing
that
ever.
would be.
Yep.
That would be very embarrassing. But the aggressive tri-lane for the side of Aware, it's Seema the Slayer. He's going to be on the Luna. Stress is going to be on the Dazzle, and Roger on the Shadow Demon. At the moment, this aggressive tri-lane not offering very much for them. They're shutting down Moon's farm, but I mean, he's a Venomancer. He doesn't particularly need it, and with FNG here, they have to be a little bit afraid right now, although he's only got an Alpha Wolf, which is not very useful at this stage. Percentage-based damage aura is not that useful. He's got the Centaur. But that's going to be running out in just a few seconds, really. So this could be a bit bad.
Yeah, all they need to do is make sure they look at the damage.
Yeah, he's just causing problems right now. Wow, Roger really does not have much HP.
Oh my
my God.
this wolf! Run, Wolfie, I can do it.
Alright, they have the heal on Stress, it's okay. They actually can't kill him there, but...
That's scary, though.
Yeah, and that's exactly why an Enchantress is difficult to deal with early, because these creeps at this stage of the game are way stronger than heroes. Because everybody only has one skill anyway, so if you pick up a Centaur, he now has an AoE stun that's way better than anybody else in the game is going to have. He's got a ton more HP
Bottom
and
lane.
damage.
Nightmare set up for Hakon. Brain step there as well. Hakon will be dead. First blood. J4 pretty damn close though to dying as well.
Yeah,
He's got only
J4.
one tango. Like, I'd say go home.
Yeah, I gotta agree with this at this point. He's gotta go home. There's no real way he can stay in that lane. But yeah, surprisingly, the axe does a lot of damage there. He does die for it, which leaves him a little bit lower level than he'd like to be. But even so, now he's going to be having some time where he's stronger in this lane because Cheshire Cat's taken so much damage. The real thing, though, is that both these heroes, they kind of just want to ignore each other, get as much farm as they can, and then go into the mid game with a Blink Dagger and initiate for their team. So this is all about who actually out-farms each other in this lane, and for the moment, it's going to be Cheshire Cat, especially with that kill.
Yeah, he was actually the one to take the gold as well, so a lot of extra gold going his way, and on top of that, he is also highest on the last hits and denies list. Only closely followed by his teammate, mid lane. Scandal's doing really well up against this Tinker. No surprise, to be honest, Tinker's not the greatest last hitter out there. It is 14-5 here on Scandal's Ember Spirit. Lolek sitting on 11 for 2. Not doing bad, but is still not doing amazingly well. And he doesn't have a kill potential for Scandal either, at least not until Scandal makes a mistake. So for him it's just sit and wait. I am kind of surprised to see him not trying to stack the Ancients. That is something that you can do on the Radiant side of, if you're Tinker, if you're mid, your March of the Machines can actually reach the camp. So you don't have to actually walk high ground.
I think what that actually is just he's been busy getting his bottle, and until he has his bottle, he can't really pretty much do this. But Wallach at the moment, he actually just missed the timing for it. He's going to guess the top rune and not going to get it. So that's a big loss for him. He loses the creep XP in the mid lane. He loses the chance of getting CS. He doesn't manage to stack up. And now Scandal, he has control of the bottom room, so he can go get this Invis rune, and that gives him kill potential on this Tinker in the mid lane. So this is an incredibly dangerous moment for the mid lane and Lolik right now, because he gets snuck up on by an Invis Scandal with only 2 levels of Searing Chains right now. Even so, it's still a lot of damage, and Tinker, not the best hero. Until he gets his Boots of Travel, he's pretty much just there to try and get himself CS.
Yeah, and at the meantime, this aggressive Trilon... Oh, I'm not gonna go aggressive there. This aggressive Trilon is kind of failing. It's not like they're dying, but there's a couple of things that they're not getting. They're not getting any extra experience apart from the experience in the lane, and they're sharing it with 3 people. That is expensive. And the only reason you can make that worth it is if you get kills in return, and they're not getting that. And okay, you know, that
they're
can
not
happen.
even shutting down much either.
Yeah.
Because they're shutting down a Venomancer. I mean, who cares if you shut down a Venomancer? It's a hero that's normally a support, and the reason it's a support is you can throw away your life on Venomancer. So yeah, this aggressive tri-lane basically doing nothing right now.
Yeah, and on top of that, there's of course also the fact, like, okay, it would maybe be acceptable if...
Scandal's here though with an Invis rune, but I think his TP was spotted out by an Observer ward.
Yep, it was. But anyway, Seema also doesn't have free farm, so it's kind of wasted on all fronts.
Yeah, they either need to get this tower very soon, which they're also not doing, or they need to get their supports rotated out. But these are not the best rotation ganking supports, especially considering their levels are not being gotten right now. Stress just level 3, Roger level 3 as well. Possibly their only place that they can really go and try to effectively gank is the bottom lane, and there, it's not exactly the easiest kills ever either. Bane, very good hero for saving your teammates, and Cheshire Cat on the Centaur, he's incredibly tanky, and Scandal, I mean, he's pretty much unkillable because they don't have any hard blockdown outside of the Axe on their team, and he has Fire Remnant, so he can just, you know, blink back essentially, or remnant back.
Yeah,
this is looking bad for Aware.
Yeah, ooh. Top lane disruption going out on Moon. They might be able to get something here. The Soul Catcher's on there as well. Lucent Beam, a lot of damage. Moon is going to try to juke it out in the meantime. Enchantress's gank that I was following earlier is the one that gets the kill first. It's Tinker that dies mid lane.
Man, Moon is doing his best to get away from these
guys
right now.
Oh, the ward placement. Brilliantly done. Moon is going to be on full health
now they're
HP.
screwed.
In comes a Gale. That's 1 kill extra for Scandal. And there goes the 2 supports on the side of Aware. Seema stuck here, level 4. Can't do much. That ward will scout him out soon. He doesn't have a teleport. They know he's still there, especially now that the ward scouted him out. And that should be the end of this Luna as well. Tries to do what he can, but brilliantly played by Moon. And good TP support coming in by Power Rangers. I should have just stuck with the Enchantress though. see also the kill on the Tinker, but that was pretty nicely set up as well. We already saw the Ursa Warrior with the smoke up on FNG, and you know, we can guess the rest.
Yeah, they pretty much just dive into the tower. It's an easy kill for them. Scandal did manage to get off the Sleight of Fist and Chains combo, and from that point on, Tinker, I mean, he's a very vulnerable hero. He needs his boots of travel before he can really do anything. And even then, he's still very easy for them to kill as long as they get hold of him. It's just, you know, following him around the map. But yeah, great move from Moon there. Blocking off the enemy path as soon as they come after him with the Plague Ward. And then just, you know, running down, salving up as well, so he was still able to fight. And then the TP reactions that came in from PR, they completely wipe out that tri-lane. They get a gank in the meantime, and PR have gone from a little bit ahead to completely dominating this game.
Yeah. Only upside is that Seema is getting some extra farm now, which is good for him.
Yeah, Seema is getting good farm, but he's not getting
enough
fat. He's not getting really huge or anything, and they need something to make up for this right now. The Axe isn't getting a huge amount either. That could do it for them.
They're gonna try on Moon again. Moon is level 6 at this point. Didn't go for his Poison Nova, by the way. Interesting to note. Let's see, Disruption will start things off. Soul Catcher there as well. They're gonna move in the heal. That's enough damage. That's a kill. That is the combination that they've been trying to get the whole time, and this is the first time they could do it. 8.5 minutes into the game.
Yeah, once you get an initiation on Venomancer, he's incredibly squishy hero. Doesn't even have much in the way of armor. He dies very quickly, but the problem is getting the initiation on him, because up on this top lane, most of the time, the Venomancer can just sit back and go, oh, I'm getting the minimum XP and farm.
Oh, there goes Hakon. Stampede used for that, and the Blink Dagger of Cheshire Cat shown off for the first time, so 2-0.
And that's a pre-9 minute,
yeah.
Pre-9 minute blink on him. He's got a Ring of Health as well, so probably just, well, he could just leave this casual, but he might just, you know, rush up a hood or something. Either way, he's now incredibly dangerous in this ganking combo for them, because this is not like a Blink Dagger on a Batrider where he can initiate once every 60-70 seconds. He can initiate every time Hoof Stomp is up. That's a 13-second cooldown AoE stun, so very dangerous for the side of Aware right now. And frankly, they just need a bit too much farm on their heroes. I feel like PR's way they dodged their lanes and played their lanes was absolutely fantastic for them right now. Yeah, definitely.
The only thing they sacrifice is a little bit of time on their supports in the end. I mean, Bane is still level 5. Helped out, of course, Cheshire Cat, and gave Cheshire Cat most of the experience, as Cheshire Cat himself is level 8.
Yeah, but look how far ahead he is compared to the Axe.
I mean,
Hakon has 300 gold.
It's 100%
towards his Blink Dagger. Yeah, completely worth it for them right now. And Aware, their only choice now is to go for this late game counter push with their Tinker.
Oh, Bane.
And to just hold their game.
I think Bane is going to be gone for. He tries to get away. He brain steps as well. The damage comes in, and actually the stomp. Oh, Cheshire Cat, he's going to pay for that one. He'll get picked up by the Luna. In comes Scandal. He manages to get the Dazzle, looking for Roger as well. One more hit, can't get it because he's too slow. Luna able to get out as well. That was a bit of a mistake coming out from Power Rangers, or at least a bit of well, just a greedy play. A bit overconfident from Seema. That heal from the Dazzle. Level 3 Shadow Weave, that turned that fight around.
Yeah, definitely turned that fight around there, and even so, I think it was still probably the right decision for him to initiate there. Otherwise, they lose their Bane, and the fact it has a way of scaling from this point on. Whereas Centaur, whatever items he gets, it's always going to be underwhelming. Centaur, not a scaling item here, and they're going on Hakon top lane here.
Yep. They've already killed him as well. That goes
there's
fast.
not much they can do versus a Centaur initiation right now. They just need to dodge this, basically. They need to get farm on their Luna, and the way they need to do that is holding their towers with this Tinker. Everybody else is essentially just there as a support right now, and that includes Hakon, who is their Axe player. So, not fantastic for him, but he's got no real choice.
Nope.
He's not going to get too much farm right now, unless he just AFKs in the jungle.
Talking about AFKing in the jungle, whoa. It is Scandal that comes out of the trees for Fiend's Grip, jumps back and forth, wants to go for the Luna. Luna still alive for the moment, gets a loosened beam up, and with the Stampede going, it is Luna that lives. And nobody
Maybe a
dies.
mistake there from Scandal to try for the Remnant, because he had a Remnant further back.
Yeah.
So it took him longer to get his Remnant in. Maybe he should just come in for the right clicks. He doesn't do a huge amount of damage, but, you know, maybe with a Drum Charge, he would have been close to doing it. I don't know, it's a pretty close one, but yeah, in the end, they don't get that Luna. And the Dazzle behind means it's very hard to get these kills, but I mean, Aware, it's not like they're completely screwed. The problem is that now their team is stuck into having to go for a late game when they had an aggressive tri-lane, and Hakon pretty out of position here, held out by Scandal.
Eclipse coming out, Scandal in some trouble. He doesn't have the shield. Goes still for a Slay
He does
Fist.
have one Remnant though.
Yeah, and he gets away with it. He is fine. Teleporting coming from the Tinker though, so he might not be fine for a very long time. The Rockets, he dodges them by getting another Slay Fist off. Bane, however, getting a Poison Touch, and he'll be brain staffing, still getting chopped by Hakon though. And this Tinker getting his Boots of Travel is definitely a saving grace for Aware as well. And this could be for Aware, their turnaround of this game. I mean, we already talked about it, the laning stage did not go their way. But with the Tinker now having his Boots of Travel up for a while, this could be their turnaround. This could be their moment. Oh, what's he doing there? Shouldn't be there. Scandal. Yeah, he's dead. He's gonna get chopped by Hakon. Oh, nice change by Scandal. Actually, still goes for Slay of Fist. Will probably die anyway, though. The rocket's flying in. He's gonna get a hit by that. Lolik going down. Double edge. Cheshire Cat coming in, getting a kill on the support Shadow Demon. Not really worth it as an exchange, but still a nice kill to get. Better than nothing, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it feels like PR right now, they're just getting a bit overzealous and overconfident. They know they're way ahead, but Scandal is jumping in here. Before this, he didn't even have 1 point in Flame Guard. 1 point in Flame Guard is basically nothing, by the way. It's definitely not a value point skill. 50 magic absorb and 30 damage per second is nothing to write home about, but before that he didn't have a single point in Flame Guard, so any of these spells that go out on him are going to do a ton of damage, be it the laser, the rockets. Actually, laser is pure, but the rockets, anything like that will just cut him in half right now, and he's running in and almost initiating these fights. And because the TP boots on the Tinker, of course, I mean, pretty standard on Tinker, you don't get much else, but because of the ability to him to go around and counter gank, and with the rest of his team knowing that the Luna needs support, he's an incredibly hard kill right now, and I feel like PR would maybe just be best off sitting back and farming, because they still arguably have the better late game with the Ember Spirit. It comes down to decision making, but it's very close.
Yep. Look at the word coverage from Power Rangers, by the way. They have 4 observer wards up.
Crushing.
And
I mean, there's not bad wards up by the side of Aware, but
I mean, Enchantress went for 2 levels in Untouchable, but if you're getting rocketed and laser beamed by, I also mean the Lucent Beam, yeah, then there's not much hope for you. In the meantime, the teams trade towers. Well, actually, they don't trade towers. I thought the tier 1 top was getting sieged and would go down as well, but it's just the tier 1 bottom that goes down on the side of Aware. And the rotation that Aware was going for, they rotated 3 hero stuff, not meaning anything at all. They do smoke up again though, and they're gonna go for a mid, see if someone comes in and talk about the devil. Speak of the devil, Scandal coming in, not the target that is easy to take down, but
they have to do this correctly though if they get him though.
Bane is a nice target to take down though. Let's see if they can. Yes, they can. There they go. Scandal, you're 1 versus 4. You don't have a Remnant up. That's suicide by Remnant. For sure. He dies. Like, that was just bad play.
Yeah, Scandal having a few misplays in a row here and just letting himself get killed. I mean, I said it before, Aware, they don't have any stuns. So if he has a Remnant, he's virtually invincible. The only thing that can stop him is the Berserker's Call. Nothing else will stop him at this stage of the game. So him not having a Remnant up and still going into these fights is just completely suicidal at this point. He needs to just farm up.
Yeah, he definitely does. Talking about farming up, Hakon is doing that. Almost got his Blink Dagger ready. What's Cheshire Cat doing there? He's got his pipe. He's got to wait for Hakon. Oh,
wow, he has a full pipe. That's a lot of HP. Effective.
And there is also Stress hanging around. So Dazzle is close by. This is scary because Dazzle has not been spotted by...
They're really trying to set up for this gank, and Scandal is coming in, and they do not know that Stress is here. They have no idea that Stress is in this area.
Nope. But then again...
Oh, they're actually baiting Scandal, maybe? I'm not sure about this.
Do they know?
Is it really worth baiting Scandal? Scandal's like...
No.
I don't think they know that Cheshire Cat is there, unless you walk through one of these wards, and there are a lot of defensive wards on this bottom lane. Both teams are just sort of posturing and trying to set up right now, and neither team is actually willing to commit.
They're hoping for someone to farm here. Oh, there they go. Finds 2. Has to be careful. He comes to stomp only on 1. It's Stress. That's the one with the Grave and the heal. He's already dead. Hakon called up 2, but he's not doing enough damage. Nice disruption while he was in the Fiend's Grip, saving his life for the moment. Rockets flying in, but the pipe negates most of that damage. Looks like it's just gonna be 1 kill. 1 Dazzle dead. And Power Rangers get away alive. Even though they almost killed off the axe also, but not quite. Not quite. Oh, Roger.
Yeah, but even so, it's just more room for the side of PR.
He missed the chains. It's a bit of a shame.
Yeah, he managed to he hit the creeps instead, and he's trying for these initiations here, but ultimately, even though they only get 1 person, they kind of commit a lot for that. They're taking more ground, and really for me, that's the important thing right now, because they need to try and take ground against this Tinker, because otherwise, eventually Tinker gets to a point where it's virtually impossible to push against him. It takes an absolute ton to do, and PR don't have great base-breaking heroes.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Yeah, neither does Aware, by the way. Actually, they can Shadow Demon.
They have the Luna.
illusions.
Luna's a good base breaker.
Shadow Demon and Luna illusions.
Yeah, that's a great combo, actually, for trying to break the base. We saw it yesterday, I think, but it didn't quite work out, but that was an incredibly close game, though.
It was.
Almost broke the base. It was very close to breaking the base, and for the moment, it seems like both teams, particularly PR, just aren't entirely sure what to do with their time right now. It feels like PR are just like running around, like they don't have their Enchantress, they don't have their Venomancer with them, who are arguably 2 of their strongest heroes at this stage of the game. Bane's much more of a utility hero than those other 2. Those 2 are going to do some serious damage right now. But instead they're relying on Scandal to do all the fighting, and Moon in the meantime is just AFK farming with a Hand of Midas. He's got himself a mech as well.
Yeah.
This feels like this is like a go fight, go push build with a mechanism on your Venomancer. With an Enchantress on your team, you may as well go take some fights, but they're just sitting back.
He's been split pushing the entire time. I have to say...
He has been split pushing, but even so.
It's kind of funny. There's been an Observer Ward for Power Ranger now for a short while. The Sentry Ward of Aware has been standing there for a long time, but Aware has
It's
just
still
not
not been
entered
dewarded.
their jungle.
Wow,
Like,
that
the
is
jungle is not of Aware. This is just property of Power Rangers.
Yeah, and I mean that's great, because it means that you have way more in the way of farming space. Right now, they can actually farm their own jungle and the enemy jungle, but
Demonic
Moon,
Birds, they want
he's
Moon.
dead.
Yeah, he's
That's
very dead.
he's a goner there.
under attack.
Well, it looks like it
as
might
soon as
also
he
be
gets
a tier 1
purged.
tower.
Yeah,
going
and
with
it's
power.
nice for them to get this tier 1 tower, but it's very slow. 19 minutes into the game, almost 20. Yeah, just coming up to 20 minutes into the game right now, and Luna is only just pushed the tower, only just going to push the tower in which she was in the lane against. And Luna, one of the best early tower pushers, especially when you're working with your team. They are going to take this out now, which is some critically needed farm on them. They've got their Blink Dagger on Hakon as well, but
They teleport bottom. Want to go for J4. Should be able to get him as well. The Centaur was able to get away. Tower is not in the deny range though. In the meantime, mid tier 1 tower also getting some hatred by FNG, but he is also able to get away in time. So they lose their tier 1 tower, but also lose or gain a lot of damage done to the tier 2 bottom and some to the tier 1 mid. It's not necessarily a loss, I would say, for Power Rangers, unless they lose Cheshire Cat here, which definitely is going to happen, so that's going to be sad for them. Nicely done for Aware, though, finding him, and he was just a bit too greedy sticking around as long as he did. I have to mention, though, that Sentry Ward that was scouting out the Observer Ward of earlier has vanished before they could actually counter ward, so they'll never know.
man, they never knew that ward is there. That's a big issue for them, but I really feel like PR right now, they could be completely dominating this game, and they've basically had FNG and Moon not fighting with them, who, like I said, there's 2 strongest heroes on their team. The Ember Spirit, on the other hand, he's been right in the front of the fights every time. He's been running out of remnants often because he's been fighting so much, and he's not even that strong at this point. He's just got drums and phase boots. He's now going to work on his Battle Fury, but this is going to come in very late for them, and you know, this drastically reduces how much farm he's going to have towards the late game, which it looks like this game is going to go to, because Aware, whilst they, you know, were not doing that great, they have great heroes for defending their base. They have the Tinker, and that itself is generally going to be enough. So PR, they have to be kind of worried here. I feel like they have to just sort of 5-man or something, but Moon, again, just sitting up on the top lane, FNG just
He's
doing his thing in the
pretending he's a
jungle
broodmother.
and doing his thing. Yeah, it's like he's a broodmother, and he's actually really not. He's a Venomancer. That is a hero who's got a huge team fight ultimate. He's got a mech as well. He could be with his fight and with his team, and he could completely turn around the fights. Like, absolutely destroy the enemy team. With a mech, that's an extra 250 HP on everybody on your team, and that ultimate does a ton of damage as well.
Yeah, right now he's speeding goal to Aware. Seema is going to be happy with that one. He is closing in on his Battle Fury, BKB rather. Wow. Also starts with a B. That's my excuse. As Roger and Stress are actually going into the enemy jungle. At first I thought they were going to ward, but they don't bring wards, and there's just them two. So I'm not sure if
they're just trying to. They've realized what PR are doing, and they're trying to take the enemy jungle because they know PR can't really push that fast down here. They'll take the tier 2, but they're trying to try and take this jungle away from them. But Moon is playing a great job of, you know, just guerrilla warfaring this jungle and popping off plague wards and avoiding them. But I feel like he could just be with his team. He just needs to get his team right here, right now, and say, okay, let's go and fight because we're way stronger. They don't have a BKB on the Luna yet. Let's just go and kill her. But PR are just split up. They're, you know, they seem happy to just try and take it late. I'm just not sure that's the best option for them.
I have to say though, I mean, first of all, looks like we might have a go here on Lolik. They should be realizing where he is. Oh! He almost jumped into J4, but...
Damn, that would have been bad if he'd have jumped on top of J4
in trouble. I think Moon's gonna go down. Soul Catcher comes out on him as well. No teleports. He is a gunner indeed. Lands a Gale. Doesn't even try to go for his Poison Nova. He knew he was gonna die. Nothing taken.
Yeah,
in
no
return.
point wasting the cooldown then. It's not going to do very much to them. They have the plenty of heals. They have the lifesteal on Seema as well, so a lot of TPs coming bot. Maybe this will be a big engagement here.
Yeah, nice chains. The tower will get denied though. But tower's still down, opening up for perhaps some split push potential for Moon later on. That's the only thing I can think of that they could do that for. In the meantime, FNG will take mid tier 1 tower. We haven't seen FNG all that much. We've seen him a couple of times during the laning stage. But he was a bit behind. He's level 11 right now.
He's 1-1-1.
He's got
like got 2 kill involvement.
Yeah.
He's got a 2 kill involvement on Enchantress, one of the most kill heavy early game heroes you're going to get. He has got a Necro book. What is this plan for PR? Are they just waiting for a certain timing? It feels like they're waiting for certain timing because this can't be that they're just going for late game then, because they're going for Necro books, and you don't get Necro books late game. They're not that good for it. So, I mean, what number timing are they waiting for? Because they've only just got Battle Fury and Ember.
I don't think they're waiting for a number. We saw them hanging around bottom for a long time, and J4, yeah, you're gonna go down again. But we saw them hang around bottom for a long time, baiting out someone to come and fight, and they want to take down the Tinker and then fight. That's their plan. Take out the Tinker, take a tower. See how well they push then. If they can bait out the Tinker movement, if they can predict where he's going to be and jump on him and take him off, I think they definitely have a shot. But first they have to actually get that, and they haven't been able to do it so far.
Yeah, and it's not exactly like he's an easy one to go for. Scandal, of course, on the Ember Spirit, a very good hero for, you know, looking for that Tinker, but they spent so much time trying to look for that Tinker that it feels kind of wasted, and they've given up a lot for it. This was a game where they were completely dominating it. Like, this looked like they could just rout the side of Aware, and now it's 12-10, and Aware in that meantime, they've had, you know, Seema who's been farming up, they've had their Tinker who's been farming up, and Ember Spirit has not been doing that. He's fallen behind on CS compared to Seema the Slayer now, and is actually completely behind both those two core heroes as far as net worth. He's third on core heroes for his team. He's below Moon and Farm, and Moon did not have a good laning stage. He had to defend himself against an aggressive tri-lane. So even though he got Midas, it's not like he's got that much farm.
Yeah, teleport out from Roger. Nice reactions there. Would have died otherwise. In the meantime, actually, Moon might be in some trouble here on this top lane. Scythe of Vice being put to use for the first time, and Heiko will jump in. There we go. Scandal getting some change. Hits up actually on 3, so nice job there, but no follow-up. He's the only one here that got here so fast.
He has to be careful, though, as well, because now that this Tinker has got himself a Scythe of Vice, they have another way of shutting down this Ember Spirit and killing him off, and yeah, this it just feels like Aware are getting everything they want right now. They're playing to their own game plan, and PR are not getting what they need. They need to get some kills on the board. They need to get some serious damage done, because it's not like they really have much of a push lineup. Their Necro books are nice, but at this stage, they're kind of falling off as far as push is concerned. Venomancer, not a great push hero as far as, you know, huge damage to towers and that. He takes a long time to whittle it down, and Enchantress's creeps are nice, but they're starting to fall off at this stage of the game, and yeah, they need to get some serious kills on the board right now. They need to get some more ward vision up, but they have a couple up, but it's not a...
Shadow Demon just purchased a gem, so they're gonna counter ward those gems, those wards rather.
Well, Cheshire Cat has one as well, though. He's got Blink Force, so he's virtually invulnerable to the side of Aware. They need Sheep Sticks to kill him off, and they need to reuse it several times on him, because he is crazy hard to kill. 1600 health, that does not take into account the fact that magic damage does 50% of what it would normally do to him, so basically just does nothing.
Yeah, and he's actually the highest farmed hero on the map for Power Rangers, which is nice for him, but troublesome for Power Rangers, as you already pointed out earlier. And they're not gaining the ground that you also pointed out they needed to. We're reaching a bit of the part of the game where it's kind of turning into a stalemate. Power Rangers know that they cannot fight right now because they would not win the fight. And Aware, they don't want to fight because, you know, they have a better late game.
Oh, Scandal didn't manage to get Lolik there. He jumped in, didn't get his chains off though, and then he got immediately sheeped up, and Lolik just TP's out. So that would have been that opportunity there for PR on the bottom lane, because they've been searching for this kill on the Tinker forever, and they just missed the situation to get it. Then Scandal almost caught him with the Searing Chains, but in the end didn't manage to.
Yeah, Scandal actually got a Crystallis ready. I mean, I'm saying that Aware has got the better late game. They've got the better turtle capacity and better high ground potential, is what I mean. I mean, if you compare an Ember to a Luna late game with full item slots, I'd still be a bit more scared of the Ember Spirit than I would be of the Luna. But overall, just with team fight composition, I would be more worried for Power Rangers in the later game, especially with Scandal just not getting as much farm as he probably should. However, if they get this Roshan, that will help out a lot, and they might be able to have a little bit of a leeway to make a couple of mistakes.
Yeah, I think this is a smart move from PR. The nice thing, the one thing that Aware haven't been able to do is take much map control. They're able to, you know, hold a little bit, and they're able to get a lot of farm, but they're not able to push particularly well right now, just because PR's damage is actually way higher right now, and they have the mech as well, so it's very hard to kill them all off. So they take the Roshan there, they'll put it on the Ember Spirit, and maybe this is their opportunity to just go and force a fight, which they absolutely need to do. They might lose something, you know, maybe a tower from it because the Tinker is on the map. It might be incredibly hard to even initiate into that fight because the Tinker's on the map, but ultimately, Scandal has 2 lives right now, so that's a huge turnaround for them. And like you said, he's got a Crystallis as well, so he's not doing terrible damage by any
jumping
stretch.
up on Lolik, he's already chained as well, but the Hex is still there, but Cheshire Cat disruption on to Lolik. He gets stunned as well, and he will get picked up. Same thing goes for Hakon, but the Grave keeps him alive for a little while longer. Not long enough to keep him up, though.
Oh, Tinker's brought back. He's got his Hex again.
Yeah, and that's going to be enough to kill J4 with some help of Seema as well. In the meantime, Scandal, after his Aegis got up, he got left alone by his team, and he will get picked up there as well. Turns into a 2-on-3. In favor of Power Rangers on numbers, but they don't get anything out of it. They get a buyback from the Tinker, which I guess is nice in a way, but they were looking for some extra map control, the way to try to gain more control over Aware, and they didn't get that at all.
Yeah, and this is just what I mean. The real problem is that PR maybe have way more damage because Ember Spirit just scales incredibly as far as how much damage he can do and the position he can do it from with Sleight of Fist, but Tinker with a Hex is arguably one of the best late game carries in the game, and Enchantress, they do pick off Roger there, but...
Oh, yeah, but that's not gonna last long.
It's not worth it.
No, especially not since that's
and the gem as well. Oh, Cheshire Cat managed to steal it, though.
He's now at 2.
He's got double gems.
That was some
nice
insane play.
Cheshire Cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice play from him, but even so, they lose their Enchantress, and they lost that previous fight, and the big thing is the Hex on the Tinker right now, because the thing about Tinker, any item he has, he can use it multiple times in the fight. He has Rearm, which only takes 1 second to do, so he can possibly keep someone permanently Scythe-Viced up, and there's nothing you can do against that other than just being out of range of it. So this is crazy dangerous for the side of PR right now, that they lost their Ember in that fight twice. He just lost his Aegis and still died.
Yeah, and shutting down Tinker, he's forcing him to buy back. He's already rich. He's not going to feel that difference. The only thing that is worth noting is that he will be dead for a longer time next time he dies, so the bounty of killing him is going to be a bit higher for Power Rangers. They will have a bit more incentive. But they have to be having everything going right for them when they kill him. Right positioning, making sure the lanes are pushed out properly so they can actually take a tower off the back of it. Get some more control. I do like that they have now the gem of aware now as well, so they can actually get some control back, place their wards up again, trying to go find some pickups. Because it's definitely up to them to change the pace of this game, because right now aware has the control.
Yeah, definitely. Aware is... everything is in their favor right now, because ultimately, going into the late game, they could just hex the Ember Spirit, and nobody else on PR really scales in that way. We already talked about the Venomancer. He does not scale. He is just still just going to be a Venomancer. Yes, he can maybe get things like Ags, maybe Veil, and a Blink Dagger, and do a huge initiation for his team, but that damage is over time. It is not instant damage. They are not going to instantly win the fight from that. They basically just need a ton of farm on this Ember Spirit to do it, and putting all of your eggs in one basket versus a Tinker with a Sight of Ice and a Luna is incredibly dangerous to do, because they now have multiple ways of initiating on Aware. The Luna is, could be made to be way harder to kill than she normally is, because they have the Dazzle on the team with the Shallow Grave. They can give her a ton of extra armor as well, and the Tinker can disable you. So having one core versus this sort of lineup is very difficult for them. And PR, I just feel like they really should have been more aggressive with their Venomancer and with their Enchantress when they felt like they were ready to, because Scandal didn't want to farm up towards this late game. That was obvious. He was fighting in the enemy jungle, he was fighting the enemy team. There's no real reason to leave your Venomancer and your Enchantress out of that. I mean,
wow,
it was 12 minutes in.
They used the Fiend's Grip on the Shadow Demon who was gonna die anyway. That's a bit of a waste. I guess he couldn't get a disruption off this way, which is nice.
Yeah, they might just do it to that, but yeah, they're going to go for this tower here, but look how hard it is for them to actually push in. This is with them having a pipe and a mech, by the way, and they're still taking a significant amount of damage doing that. So, yeah, difficult situation, but they do get the kill, they do get the tower, and the pace of the game is so slow, and the cooldown is so low on Fiend's Grip that it's possibly, okay to use it there. Fiend's Grip, only 100-second cooldown. It's not like it's huge to just use it up on a kill that you already had. It's not a massive waste, and Tinker now actually going for Dagon here. So he's just going to go, he's just going to go for that Dagon E-Blade style. He's already got the Ghost Scepter as well.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with that pickup. I mean, both Venomancer and Bane are quite squishy heroes. Enchantress actually also, although she's starting to get a little bit more tanky. I would like to see her go for an Aghanim though. That's just... she's going to be needed to pump out damage as well, especially because Ember, I mean, he's doing nice amounts of damage, but he'll want to be safe, and he cannot be really in the front lines all that much all the time, unless he has his Flame Guard up or maybe Slay of Fisting from the sidelines. So they need someone else to do damage from afar as well, and that would be Enchantress. And she's just a Necronomicon builder. That's all there is to it at this point.
Yeah, she spent a lot of time just farming, and ultimately she's just carrying a Necronomicon, which is not an item that scales that fantastically well. Necrobook is never useless, of course, but Cheshire Cat's gonna go down here, yeah.
Pipe Blink, he has the Force Staff, he can blink as well the moment he gets out of the... yeah.
And I think that was technically a misplay from the Tinker. It's hard to call it a misplay because Tinker's just so hard to play with, but he only has, he has 2.5 seconds there after he's already used his Hex, where he can rearm and still use Hex instantly. So, yeah, he kind of screwed the pooch on that one and doesn't get the kill on Cheshire Cat. Not exactly an easy kill to get, though, either way. Not with the pipe and the 2,500 HP almost that he has.
Yeah, nicely played, of course, also by the Centaur. And he now has a heart. So, yeah.
Even tankier. The Centaur is getting crazy hard to kill.
Points.
Yeah, 3,000 health, and I mean his effective HP is basically incalculable.
What are you doing there, Moon? I think he's gonna die.
We'll pretend it's an initiation, guys.
Well, maybe
Candle
it is,
not here,
because here comes J4, teleport out from the Shadow Demon. Moon is actually able to almost kill off the... yep, there he goes.
Is he gonna get Hakon as well? He might do, yeah, just with the Necronomicon Archer's mana burn then.
Oy.
Wow, what a turnaround by Moon.
That's actually so worth it.
that's the most worth it thing I've ever seen. Moon just... I mean, this is the thing about Venomancer. He's great in an extended fight like that, but he didn't instantly kill them there, and he did definitely die. Every time he goes in, he is going to die no matter what, because Venomancer just does not have any HP, doesn't have a huge amount of armor, and it's pretty hard to get HP on him as well. I mean, he's going to get a full Academ's and still be squishy, along with having a Necro Book and a mech. That's like all the HP items you can get, and still feel like you're dying instantly, but... Yeah, nice that he gets those kills, but even so, the core heroes on the side of Aware that they really need to be alive, which is the Luna and the Tinker, are still alive. And Luna now, she's got herself a full Satanic up, so that ultimate from the Venomancer isn't going to do very much for her, because as long as she's hitting, she has the Satanic up. Even if it's not active, it's 25% lifesteal. That's more than enough to keep her alive.
Yeah. It's going okay-ish for Power Rangers, all things considered. It's just that they're not out of the woods yet. This game is still incredibly even. It's actually 17-17 in kills. We're still having the gold graph going the way of Power Rangers, though. Mostly because of course, the Enchantress being basically an extra farming hero on the map that Power Rangers, that Aware does not have. And of course, also Moon's Hand of Midas helps with that. Well, most of the farms on the side of Aware is in the Tinker and on the Luna. Experience graph, still in favor of Power Rangers as well, but there's still such a big obstacle to be overcome by Power Rangers, and I do mean high ground at this point. Although for now, maybe they want to go for a bit of a different obstacle. Roshan is up, and I think that Aware will be wanting to have that one too. Hello, Aghanims on Moon. I do like that one. Where's the Veil, though? Where's the Veil?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to try and farm one up. It'll be nice for him to get, but it doesn't exactly scale hugely well for their team, because nobody else really does that much in the way of magical damage, especially not mass AoE magical damage. It's pretty much just Moon for that, but even so, you know, nice for him to get up. Once he does get that, he's basically doing a huge amount of magical damage to the enemy team, and Aware, they don't actually... That's one thing they don't have in their favor, which is their supports don't have any real items. Hakon in particular, he hasn't got much. He's managed to get the Aghanim Scepter up, which is pretty nice for him, but they might need a pipe as well going into this, because they're against a Venomancer, and they don't have anyone who's going to build one. No one who's even close, really. I mean, Stress is building braces. Roger is building... Yeah, he's going to go Blade Mail next, which is a pretty nice item versus Ember Spirit. If the first jump on Sleight of Fist hits you, you still get damaged by the Blade Mail, but otherwise, you know, multiple hits, that doesn't matter at all. So it's kind of nice. If he gets the initiation on Scandal, he'll just chop him in pieces, though, because Scandal has no HP. Although he is going to get a second Aegis here, as well as another item right now, because he's got 4,200 gold. Looks like he's just going to build a second Daedalus.
Or is he? There's a gem on the floor there. Why is nobody picking up the gem? Pick up the gem,
apparently
J4.
it's not very valuable. Yeah, J4 is just going to take it because the Centaur's running out of item slots, I guess. He's got another 3,800 gold on him. I would guess it's going to be a Daedalus on the... on Scandal. I guess he could be thinking about MKB, because obviously the next item on Luna is Butterfly. It could even be Rapier if he really wants to go crazy. It's unusual that I'm not the one thinking Rapier, because I'm always thinking Rapier. I'm thinking Rapier on support heroes.
Okay,
it's like my
I'm
natural state of being.
I'm hoping Rapier.
I mean, it kind of makes a lot of sense, because PR don't have a way of breaking high ground, and yeah, it would definitely be fun, because the pace of this game has been surprising for this tournament. I mean, and it's not even like this isn't that many kills. 17-17 is like a fair amount considering. Just we're getting so used to seeing everybody just get killed all the time.
Well, let's see. So far, Hakon, by the way, is still not finishing up his blade mill. If that is indeed what he wants to buy, of course, remains to be seen. And
can't imagine what else it would be for him.
Ugh, still so hard.
Yeah, it's incredibly difficult. Their team is just not very good at breaking high ground. Ember Spirit is not a good hero for that. Because the thing is with Ember Spirit is you actually need to get onto the high ground to hit the tower. Otherwise you're just waiting for the creeps to do it, and you can't really afford to do that. Late game Ember Spirit is built entirely for damage output and hoping that you're at the very far back of the fight and you just Sleight of Fist people. So it's nice, he's going to do a ton of damage to the enemy team, but he's not good at breaking the high ground, he's not good at doing the damage, and that's what the Necrobooks are for, really. But Aware, they seem to be able to deal with the Necrobooks fairly well.
Yeah. March of the Machines. Only thing Tinker has to be aware of is the damage coming in, because he'll probably take it. But he's tanky enough to take it at this point anyways.
Yeah, he's got enough HP where he can take it, and it's, you know, it's only a couple of Necrobooks. It's not like they have 4
Sell
or something.
them! Sell them fast!
What are they selling?
Never mind, they're not selling it.
What's wrong?
It's an
They buy
MKB.
something. I mean, it's nice versus Luna. If she gets Butterfly, it means that now when Luna gets her Butterfly, it's not going to be as strong, but yeah, it feels like maybe they need just a little bit more damage, and it's just not that exciting an item. MKB is always like underwhelming looking whenever someone uses it.
Yeah. Luna is pretty close to having a Butterfly though, if that is indeed what she goes for. She of course also
Well,
wants
they
to
might
have
go for the
buyback,
kill
and
here.
She might need it. The chains only hit on illusions, but the Gale hits on the real one as well, so perhaps they can make a play still. Scandal, not giving up for the moment.
Or
goes
Tinker's
for zero
close
change.
by though at any time. That's the real dangerous thing, is Scandal really wants to try and go for that kill there, but if he gets hexed by Tinker once, he can die very quickly.
Luckily he has an Aegis at this point. We see large drawing on the minimap from FNG, wanting to go on the top lane, knowing that Tinker is about there. With some March in the Machines. Rockets flying out as well, up on 2. Cheshire Cats. And actually Tinker's already gone again. Let's see if they can at least take the tower down. Tinker is actually teleporting bottom. If he shows himself there, which he does, this could be
They're
the
giving
time.
up this mid tower. They're giving up this
Yeah.
tier 1 or 2 tower then. They're saying it's okay for this to die, and Tinker just, you know, giving them a little bit extra. Roger,
Radiant's top
why are
tower
you there?
has fallen.
Careful.
Roger dead. Well,
Roger
that
Dodger.
was Roger defeating. Tier 3 tower in some trouble. Pipe is up. That first attack is already gone. And in comes the Berserker's Call from Hakon. He's taking a lot of damage though. Is it enough? Fiend's Grip up on Luna while she's in the BKB. She can't do anything. Is there damage to take her down is the question. Poison Nova coming out. Not really hitting anything because Luna was still on her BKB. Her Satanic not keeping her up. And that's going to be 3 dead on the side of Aware. Aegis did get burned on Scandal.
Radiant's top barracks
What was that
is
Poison Nova doing there anyway? Because I don't feel like it helped.
Yeah, it didn't really do much for them, but maybe he was worried about someone. I don't know actually. But either way, Aegis is burned. They do force out the buyback on the Luna, and they took down the tier 3 tower, so they're doing some damage slowly. They don't have the Necrobooks back up though, and they won't be as good at doing
Oh,
some
they
damage.
wanna
But
go
now
for
Cheshire
Seema,
Cat
though.
jump again.
Nice
Seema dodged
dodge.
it though.
Amazing
Great
dodge.
use of
FNG
Manta
might be
there.
in some trouble. Mechanism will keep him up for a little bit longer. And they're just going to go for the Rax. The first Hex is there though, and they need the damage for this Rax. They go for the melee Rax because they know that they can take it down, so they should. There we go. Range Rax
Oh,
as well.
Luna's just backed out. They let those racks go there, and they've used buyback on the Luna. So that's a big loss for the side of Aware here. Great play by PR though.
Well, they're not backing off. They're going to continue
No.
going.
And I think the big thing in that last fight was definitely that Fiend's Grip. Nobody was able to cancel it, because
Akon,
if they do cancel it, they're
jumping
not
in.
using Hex on the...
Putting a Nightmare there and actually takes a ton of damage. Now the Poison Nova might be helping out, but Seema already has his BKB again. Looking for a target to take down, but gets forced away by everybody of Power Rangers who are still alive and kicking. A Cheshire Cat keeps being the target of their hatred, but he's just so tanky at this point. What can they do to stop it? Even Tinker is just not able to do anything. Constantly being forced back to go to base because of the Slay of Fist hitting him, cutting him low.
Radiant's bottom tower.
That's gonna be
Radiant's
Mega
bottom
Creeps.
tower has fallen.
They need to fight this.
Yeah, and Aware have just not gone into these fights properly. They got hexed when they tried to go in before. Sorry, they got Fiend's Grip when they tried to go in before, and they're not breaking them now. This is Mega Creeps. This is
game, I think.
yeah, pretty
They
much.
kill off
There's not
Lolek
much
as
that you
well.
can do against Mega Creeps.
Roger Fiend's Grip, and that's gonna be Seema, last one alive, together with a couple of people on the phone, but... Oh, buyback actually from Tinker. But Mega Creeps. I mean, in theory, Tinker and Luna are pretty great creep clearers, but they are such a long way away from actually reaching the base of Power Rangers. They still need to take down all the tier 2 tower as Lolek tries to do what he can. He is in trouble though, ton of trouble. Poison Nova coming out, gets the Enchantress still, but will end up dropping, or will he not? Grave comes out for him as well. Eclipse coming out for Seema, does have her BKB if she wants to, and is going for Moon. Moon, max up, might be enough. Tinker still goes down to Moon actually. He gets a killing blow. It's gonna be Hakon calling on Cheshire Cat to attack him. Cheshire Cat's like not taking any damage. He is still so freaking tanky. Nightmare, Seema in place. Yeah, they're gonna stop. They're gonna call it. Bait tap out. Power Range will take it. This is over. I mean, I really thought Aware at some point was gonna have it. What went wrong?
They didn't defend their base properly there. The big thing was that they allowed that Bane to get a perfect Fiend's Grip off, and nobody did anything about it. When they were defending their base then, nobody touched the Bane for the entire duration of the Fiend's Grip, the Shadow Demon, the Tinker, not even the Dazzle. None of them got a stun off.
They got 3 heroes, then not counting the Luna. They can actually interrupt that.
Yeah, pretty much everybody can do something about that there, and none of them were able to do that. The Luna dies, the Tinker, he's forced to either choose between hexing the Bane or hexing the Ember Spirit. If he hexes the Bane, the Ember kills his entire team. If he hexes the Ember Spirit, they lose their Luna, and they suddenly lose their Rax, and that was the real issue for them there. A perfect Fiend's Grip from PR, but Aware just did not do anything about it. That was the real issue, I feel.
Yeah, I agree. They just stood back, let their Rax fall. Well, that was our one and only game today, unfortunately. I know that yesterday I mentioned 3 games being scheduled today, but 2 of those got rescheduled, unfortunately. So we'll have those for you some other time. The Excellent Moscow Cup is back tomorrow at 1700 CEST time on this channel. Not with me though. Probably at least might be able to at least co-cast for a little bit. We'll see. But G-Advance will be here. G-Advance, any shoutouts and plugins before we go?
Yeah, I mean, typical twitch.tv/setmygibs is where you can follow me at. Otherwise, thanks for having me on. And yeah, I'm glad to be on tomorrow. Hopefully, things will all be working as well. And I should be providing a really nice quality because I've got a brand new cameraman for me who's going to be running the stream. And
Awesome.
I've seen the quality. He can put up like full 1080p and he can just about crank it to 60 FPS as well. So, pretty insane stuff.
Looking forward to it. Make sure you tune back in. 1700 tomorrow, people. It's going to be Relax taking on Next KZ for that match. So that was it for today. Go watch some Dota. Actually, right about now, a best of 5 should have started between Fnatic and Cloud9. One of those 2 teams will make it to Frankfurt as ESL 1. So that should be a good best of 5 to watch, especially if yesterday's best of 5 is any match to go on, which was amazing. Thank you, and have a great night.